Hello, fiber friends. How are you today? Welcome to another Woolly Wednesday where I do Knitcast, and I think this is number 8. I've lost count at this point. The video will say what number it is. It is Wednesday. It is September 30th. We are almost into October. Can you believe it? This is the craziest year. It's gone by so slowly and so quickly all at the same time. So, welcome. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. Thanks for checking me out. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. I love to see your comments every week, so thank you so much for coming back week after week. I really appreciate you. So, as I said, this is where I talk about my knitting, my Knitcast. It's where I talk about all of my fiber goodness, fun yarns that I have purchased, and patterns that I've discovered, and projects that I'm working on, and all that kind of stuff. So, let's jump right in. Sorry I didn't post last week. I didn't do any videos last week at all. So in addition to all of the the other stuff I was dealing with, the dental issues and stuff, I developed a sinus infection on top of everything. So yay. So I was not feeling well at all last week, and I took a break from filming because I didn't have the energy for it. Feeling much better this week, which is good because vacation is next week. So it's good to feel good on vacation. But since I was kind of down and out last week, I actually did get a lot of knitting done. It turns out knitting is my project. That's what I turn to when I need to work on something or need to do something with my hands, but I'm not feeling well enough to really put a lot of mental energy into anything. So I got a lot of work done on stuff. I have 3 whips to show you today, which is the most I've shown you in quite a while. So I'm excited about that. I also have some Knit Crate stuff to show you. I'm still skipping the regular boxes because the stuff that's coming up just doesn't look that appealing to me, but I did get a couple of things out of their Member Central shop, so I'll show you that. I also have a new yarn dyer that I have tried out, and I got a shipment from her, and I'm super excited to show you that. They're really gorgeous colors. And then I'll talk about some plans, because there are always more and more plans. I'm trying not to put too many things on the needles all at one time, especially because I'm running out of the right size of needles. I have so many projects on right now that I've actually had to buy more size 6 and more size 4 needles just because I don't have them for different things. So yeah, so I'm trying to, my goal is to finish 1 or 2 of these whips before I actually cast anything new on, but I do want to cast a couple new projects on. Oh, there's Luna. So yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second. I'm not sure what I'm going to post for next week. Since I will be on vacation, it's possible that I'll do some fun vacation type videos just while I'm out and about. We'll see. But I may try to pre-record some stuff and just post that for you to watch while I'm gone. We'll see what I have time to do. I only have a couple days left to get some things together, and I've got some Etsy shop stuff I have to deal with just to get ready for being gone for a little bit, and I have my Silk of the Month packages to get out and that kind of stuff, so I'm kind of busy and also preparing to go out of town. I will say, just as a quick aside, we're definitely going to be staying safe while we go out of town. We're basically going with a very small group of friends to stay at a rented house, and we're pretty much going to be isolated. We'll go to the grocery store, I think, once, and we may hit a restaurant or 2, but we'll have masks and we'll do social distancing and all that kind of stuff. So we're going away, but we're staying safe. So as safe as we can be anyway. So that is that. So let's get into the whips. First and foremost, I did a little bit of work on my Empower People bandana by Casapinka. I really need to get on this because it's almost November, y'all. It's going really fast. The time is just going really, really fast. Now I have my ballot in hand. I actually need to fill it out, and I need to take it to our voter registration office to drop it off in person. I'm not going to mail it just because of the various concerns with mailing, so I want to make sure that my vote is counted. So I'll be doing that the next week or so. But even so, I need to get this finished so that I can wear it while I'm out and about, the few times that I am out and about, to help raise awareness for voting and community empowerment and all that sort of stuff. So this is, as you can see, my little blue marker there. So I have stitched about another 1.5 to 2 inches. So I think that puts me at 11 or 12 for the diagonal side here, which means I got about 6 or 8 more inches I need to stitch. So it's getting there. I was talking with Heike and Rachel, Stone Cold Coffee Crafts, Heike at Stone Cold Coffee Crafts, and Rachel at Rachel Ray. I was talking with them over the weekend, and this should be going faster than it is, but for me, the repetitiveness is a deterrent, because there's only like 2 different stitches, and they both happen on this side. Otherwise, it's just knit, 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 back and forth, back and forth. And the fact that there's no changes and nothing interesting happening with the pattern makes it harder for me to work on it, because it's too boring. So I have worked on this a couple times when my brain just was like completely out of it, because it is a good project for that. You just sit and watch TV and knit away, but it feels like it's taking forever. So I'll probably take this on vacation with me, because this will be a real easy project to work with while I'm sitting around chatting and that kind of stuff. Won't take a lot of brain power. So maybe I'll actually get this finished by the time I do another video. We shall see. So like I said, I got maybe 6 or 8 more inches, and then I'll join it, and then we'll see what we see. And hopefully, I mean, I think that's going to be a cute piece to wear whenever I finally go back to the office to work with other human beings. We actually just got notice earlier this week that the powers that be have decided definitively that we will not be back in our offices we won't be back in the offices before January 1st. We will be continuing mandatory telework at least through December, and then, we'll see. Probably at the beginning of December they'll start discussing whether or not January is going to happen or whether it's going to be extended. I fully expect that it will continue to be extended for a bit. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not minding the working from home. It's really convenient in a lot of ways, not the least of which is the fact that I don't have to drive 30 to 45 minutes each way every morning and evening, and I don't have to deal with the traffic. So that's fantastic. I love that. So anyway, that's that. I also worked, excuse me, I also worked on my Sharon shawl. This is also a design by Casapinka with the help of Sharon from Security, who is her cat. This actually, this mystery knit along is actually finished. Technically, they posted Clue 6 a week ago, Friday, last Friday or week before. It was a week ago Friday, yeah. So I'm not gonna necessarily do spoiler warnings from this point on, because it's over now. All of the clues are posted. So if you're still working on it and you still want it to be a mystery, then close your eyes for a couple seconds or a couple minutes as I talk about it. So here we go. As you can see, this is getting very, very long, so it is like half my height at this point. It's pretty long. And I was again joking with Rachel and Heike. I can already wrap it around my head. So, and I'm still in Clue 3. I'm probably halfway through Clue 3. I'm a little more than a third, certainly. So you can see my little progress marker right here. So this is how much I have knitted since we last chatted. I finally got through this brown section that was killing me. I love this stitch. This is called an open star stitch. So I actually really love the way it looks. And it blocks itself out pretty nicely. It's just that it was murder. I kept having to tink rows back because I would make one little mistake and then stuff would be off at the end, and I have to go back and undo the whole row. And so yeah, but I got it done. I got it done. That's the important thing. And now I've started this lace section, which is really, really awesome. I don't even understand how this works, but look, it's making a ripple. That is just so cool. So this is totally stitched straight and flat. I haven't done anything fancy. I've just used certain stitches. I've used the stitches that were called for, and the way that they lay with each other and the height of each stitch creates this wave, which I think is the coolest thing ever. So I think I've got, I'm trying to remember, I think I have maybe 1 or 2 more rows, and then it will be time to do another one of these garter stitch rows in this, the pink color again. So I think there ends up being 3 of these lacy sections. And then we move on to the last section of clue 3. So yeah, it's turning out really nicely. I like how that looks. Blocking this is going to be a challenge. It's going to be an adventure, that's for sure. But yeah, so there is my Sharon Show shawl. And at this point, I think I've decided I may not try to finish the shawl before I start the secret handshake mkal, which is already started. I may not try to finish the Sharon Show shawl before I start that, but I will try to finish the next project before I start the secret handshake. Yeah, so that is the Sharon Show. I feel like I was going to say something else about that, and now I've forgotten. I'm sure I'll remember it at some point. So that's the Sharon Show. I'm running out of places to put things. Everything is chaos. But the craft room is almost ready. It's almost ready. So Adam is literally painting the floor in the next couple of days. And then after that, once that's dried and cured and everything, I'll be able to start moving in and setting up. So it's exciting. So the other thing, the last thing I worked on was the mixtape mystery knit along. So I'm actually... I was current, the new clue dropped on Monday, and I've only just barely started that, but it's only 20 rows or so, or 20 rounds, so I fully expect that, I feel like I'll finish it before I go away, but we'll see. Regardless, I actually got completely caught up long before Monday, which shocked the crap out of me, and so I am fully, uh-oh. Okay, I don't think I've lost any stitches. I just noticed that my little needle caps came off in the bag, and I'm freaking out a little bit. Okay, because the last thing you want is to randomly lose stitches while your knitting is in your bag. Okay, so this is a cowl pattern, a mystery knit along cowl, and... yeah, okay, I think everything's good. And so let me do a spoiler alert now, in case you're following along. So clue 3 is currently out. We're up to clue 3. I've only stitched through clue 2. I think there will be 5 total clues. So, so spoilers for clue 1 and 2. Let's see. Look! Look! How cute is that? It's hard to see some of the detail because this top section is in such a light color, but I really love this texture pattern. Let me see if I can get it closer. You can see it a little bit better. Look at that diagonal pattern there. Isn't that cool? I think that's really spiffy. So I don't have a progress marker on this because you have not seen it yet. This is the first time you're seeing this, and it is brand new, hot on the needles, all that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, look at how much knitting I did. I knitted half a cowl, y'all. I really like how this is turning out. So I kind of wish I had known ahead of time this texture section was going to be first, because I love the look of this texture section, but it's hard to see because of the dark color that I chose. So what I decided to do is kind of do a fade sort of situation. So I started with my darkest color here, which is kind of a burgundy red, and then this is sort of a pinky color, pinky purpley color. So I went, you know, the burgundy to the pinkish to the white speckle. And then the next one is going to be, I think I decided that the green is going to come next, and then the blue will be on the other end. Though I might do blue first and then green. I think I'll do blue first and then green. I just changed my mind. Because I'm seeing so much blue here. The blue is popping for me more than the green is. So I think I'll do the blue next and then the green on the other end. So that's how I decided to organize my colors. And I'm super excited about this. My only concern is this is super stretchy. I already know it can fit over my head. Let me demonstrate. So I know this fits over my head. So that's not a problem. Oh, it's even stretchier than I realized. Okay. My only concern is how close to my neck it's going to be ultimately when it's finished. Because if it's not going to lay loosely enough, then I might feel a little choked when I try to wear it. So we'll see. We shall see. But putting it on just then, it actually felt pretty stretchy and comfy. So it's really soft. So I think it'll be good, especially during the winter as it's getting cold. It'll be a nice neck warmer. So we'll see. And I don't know if you can really see here. This big section of texture is actually really nice too, because the way the stitches lay, you have a little bump there that makes it really visually interesting, I think. But yeah, so that's working up really quickly. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the join, just because in some of these stripy sections, the join looks pretty funny. But in general, I'm enjoying this. So I don't know, I think you can see, I'm trying to hold it. Yeah, you can see that there's a little bit of a jog there. So on future cals, I'll have to work out a better way to join, or a better way to deal with the color changes so that I don't have quite so much of a jog. But yeah, so that is that. So as I said, I've got 20 rows to do this week, and the 20 rows are going to be in the main color, which is this light gray. So it's that color. And my cakes are doing this weird like pop out thing. I'm not sure what that's about. But yeah, so so that is my mixtape, which is pretty cool. So I'm happy with that. So that's what I've worked on since we talked last. Let's see. Do I want to do plans or do I? Let's talk about purchases, and then I'll talk about plans. So as I said, I got a couple of skeins of yarn from Knit Crate, and mostly I got these skeins because a while back the Knit Crate shipment was extremely delayed. I think it was July's crate was extremely delayed. So what they did for customers to compensate them was to give you a $25 coupon to use in their Member Central store. So I had been waiting and waiting, hoping that something of more interest would come up so that I could use my $25, because the last couple months yarn has just not been super duper interesting to me. Excuse me, I'd already gotten the cotton that I really liked, but everything else was stuff that had been sitting there for a while or was brand new stuff that I didn't care for. So so I waited, and ultimately, because I was going to lose the coupon, I went ahead and got a couple things, and I'm not sure how much I really like these. So I don't know whether these will end up being giveaways or a de-stash or something at some point, but they were free. So that was the main thing. So I did end up getting one skein of one of the recent offerings, and this is a it's Vita Lana Linen Jewel, and it's a 50% superwash merino, 30% linen, 20% silk. So it's a very interesting, different mix of stuff. I do like the color a lot. It's coming off more of a brick red, but it's actually a sort of wine color, leaning more towards pinky purple than red. So it's not coming off very well on camera. And I don't think either, well actually yeah, you can see how it's kind of fuzzy. camera doesn't want to focus. It's focusing on my hand and not the yarn. You can see it's kind of fuzzy. So the texture of it is not something, I mean, it feels soft enough, but the look, the visual aesthetic of the texture is not something that I care for a whole lot. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but it's like, it's got little stray hairs poking out, and it's just sort of, it's not smooth looking, and all that sort of stuff. It feels soft enough, but it just, I don't know. I'm just not super thrilled with the overall appearance of the fiber itself. And that's probably because it's a linen silk mix. I don't normally buy yarns like this, but I did like the color, and I thought, why not? It's free. We'll try it out. I had already purchased some of the yarns that I had been really interested in, so I was like, what the heck, try it out. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'll keep it or if I'll end up using this as a giveaway or something at some point, but no harm, no foul. So I got that, and then another one of their more recent offerings is this Knitology block sock. So they had 3 different colorways of this sock yarn. It's an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, so it's a pretty standard mix. And this is self-striping, so this will make you stripy socks, or stripy whatever you want to do. But it's sort of designed for socks, so it's going to be probably better striping if you do something small like a sock. This was not the colorway I had wanted. It wasn't my first choice, I should say. There was a brighter colorway that I thought was going to be really, really cute. But since I hemmed and hawed over getting the actual box, and just was buying out of the shop, that colorway was already sold out. So this was the next best colorway. So this I probably will use at some point. I'll probably make some socks from this, just because I think it'll turn out cute and stripy. This is also a kind of a funny sock base because the yarn is lumpy. I don't know if you can see, but it's not smooth. It's got this sort of like varying thickness going on. So it's almost like the individual threads have been squashed and messed up or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. And it is showing up just a little bit more muted than it should be, but it's not a terribly vibrant color or colorway. It's just these sort of dusky purples and denim blues and a light blue gray. So like I said, for free, why not? You can't beat free. So yeah, the sock one I will probably use. The other one I might end up rehoming. We'll see. So that's what I got from Knit Crate. I've already previewed the October boxes, and I will not be getting the October boxes, largely because the October yarns are big, fat, chunky yarns, and I don't do big, fat, chunky yarn. I've actually gotten to the point now that I've used so much fingering weight and sock weight, I don't really even want to do worsted weight, which is your standard weight yarn, and I have a ton of worsted weight yarn, so yeah. once I'm getting the craft room organized, I'll figure out exactly how much yarn I have, and there may be a considerable amount of destashing. So we'll see. But yeah, so I definitely don't want chunky weight. That's just, it's much thicker. Until or unless I find a pattern that I fall in love with that specifically calls for chunky weight yarn, I won't be buying any, so I'm not getting that box. Maybe November we'll have something that I'm interested in. So eventually I'll show you another Knit Crate box someday. If they ever have anything I'm interested in ever again. I think part of it is my taste in yarn has significantly changed since I've entered the world of fingering weight and hand dyeing and all that sort of stuff. Now that I know more of what's out there, Knit Crate is just not as varied and interesting as I had originally thought it was. I think it's a great introduction to different kinds of yarn and to different makers and that kind of stuff. But once you really get your feet wet, it's time to just venture out on your own and try other stuff. So So yeah, so that's that. Or the next thing that I have received, I purchased these just recently. She did a sale. I had been following this dyer. Her shop's name is Cape May Fibers. She's out of Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And I had been following her on Instagram for a while because she has these fantastic, really rich natural tones, and she actually does use some natural dyes in some of her dyeing. She also dyes yak fibers in addition to your standard merino and things like that. So she's been on my radar for a while, and she had a sale recently, and I was like, okay, time to buy. Unfortunately, she didn't have some of the larger mini skein sets that I had been interested in. She's done these fantastic, rich, natural rainbow kind of colors, but those were sold out at the time. I did get 3 mini skein sets, though, that I thought were really awesome, different kinds of fibers and different colorways. So let's see. This first one is actually one of her natural dyes. So she calls this her naturally dyed rainbow. It's a gradient set, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So this is more your standard type of yarn, but she's used natural dyes to do these colors. And they are fantastic, let me tell you. So look at this. They're a little bit pastel, but the idea that you can get these colors out of natural dyes is pretty cool. She doesn't state specifically what she uses or has used for these particular colors, but they look really nice. Look at that. And they're actually a little bit brighter in person. Well, the blue is actually not as bright. The others are brighter. But they're really nice, soft pastels. And I have seen on her Instagram too, she did a whole like dye lot of pokeberry dye, which gave this rich, really rich reddish purple color. It was gorgeous. I was trying to do no buy September or no spend September, so I did not get in on those. But yeah, I couldn't wait when I saw the sale. So yeah, these are really cool. So these are each 92 yards. These are 20 gram skeins. So that's a goodly amount of yarn. Really nice. And then I also bought a set of one of her yak mini skein sets. And so this is 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon. So these are 87 yards, 20 gram skeins. Look at these colors, y'all. Look. Oh my gosh. Can you not? Like, look at these. These colors are awesome. And I need to get my lighting set up. Maybe I'll have a better setup when I finally get the craft room open. So yeah, but these are still so pretty. These are similar in a lot of respects to the Rebel Woolworks. The colorways are pretty, or the colors that she's achieved here are very, very similar. But they're just slightly different. They're not quite exactly the same. The red over here. Okay. This is what it's purple over here is what I'm not getting. So this is a purple. It's a really dark plum. It's not coming off. There we go. So it's a really dark plum, and then we've got sort of a black, and this is blue, not quite teal. It's got just a touch of green in it. It's coming off more blue on camera. This really rusty orange, which I think is gorgeous. And then this lovely red. Not quite as intense and robust as the red from Rebel Woolworks, but it's still a really nice red. So I'm loving these too. So these are 87 yards. So 5 skeins. So still a goodly amount of yarn. Each of these is probably enough for probably a standard cowl, I would think. We'll have to see. Last but not least, these are 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 92 yards. Excuse me, per skein. This colorway, or this set of colorways, is called Victorian Gothic. And the really nifty thing is that I didn't notice until I saw her note right before I pulled these out to start filming, but she actually gave me an extra skein in this set. She said, I added an extra mini to your Victorian Gothic set because I just thought it looked so nice together. So how can you go wrong with that, right? That's really nice. So this is supposed to be a 5 skein, a 5 mini skein set. She has actually included a 6th skein. So it comes normally with these two, this dark gray and a light gray and a black, and then these two, this is more of a wine color and then a pinkier wine color, but she also included this really dark reddish purple. So that's the extra skein, I believe. I could be misremembering, but that's so awesome. It's really, really nice. I love these. And so this is not quite enough to do the Sharon Show, not the Sharon Show, the Secret Handshake mkal. I need 800 yards. And this is only about 600 yards. But yeah, so how pretty. So pretty. So I'm very happy with Kate May Fiber Company. I'll add a link to her shop in the link haven in case you're interested in purchasing. Part of it is I'm always looking for new dyers, but specifically I'm looking for dyers that are closer to home for me. Just because as much as I can, I want to try local shops and support local and that kind of stuff. But more than anything, I want to support smaller businesses. So rather than buying from big yarn companies like Lion Brand and things like that, as much as possible, I want to buy from smaller folks that are hand dyeing and you know, trying to make it on their own. So there's still a whole bunch of folks in my list that I want to try. Lady Dye Yarns is one that I really want to try, as well as oh, there's a couple others that I want to try that I can't think of. And I'm especially anxious to try or to support dyers who also happen to be people of color. That's something that I want to do in the future. So some of my next purchases will come from shops that I know are run by people of color. Lady Dye Yarns is one of those. There's a couple others off the top of my head that I just can't think of the names. Michelle Bendy, her Empower People cowl or bandana is from one of those shops that I want to try. They have some gorgeous colorways too. So anytime I try any new dyer, you will certainly see it here. I'm happy to share that with you. That way you can see what you might get if you purchase from them. So, and anything I can do to help support small businesses is a good thing. So that's all my purchases. That's all I have for now. Again, no spend September, except that I spent money. But as you might recall, that's a lot less than I usually have. So let's talk plans. Definitely going to be continuing to work on the 3 projects that you already saw. I want to get one or more of those finished before I cast on the next thing, but one thing that I am dying to cast on is a brand new pattern the pattern I don't think is brand new. I just discovered it this past weekend. So the news about losing Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg hit me really hard last weekend. There's another reason that it was hard to get any filming done. I had hoped maybe over the weekend I could, but it was a hard weekend. Let's just put it that way. And so part of that was, or part of my time was spent trying to decide how I could work out those feelings, how I could support things that Ruth Bader Ginsburg would have supported, how I could honor her memory, things like that. So in addition to a cross stitch that I did that I'll talk about in Floss Tube, I also discovered this descent cowl pattern, and I'll put a picture here. So the pattern looks really awesome, and the pattern is specifically meant to mimic one of Ruth Bader Ginsburg's mini cowls that she wore over her, I forget what they're called. She had a specific name for them, but one of the lace pieces that she wore over her robes. And this pattern is really, really awesome. It's available not only in knit, but also in crochet. So if you're a crocheter, not a knitter, you can also buy the pattern. And between last weekend and November 3rd, all of the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds for the sale of this pattern are being donated to the ACLU in honor of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So I felt like that was very appropriate. So I immediately bought the pattern. I have the pattern. I just need to decide what yarn I'm going to use, and I have a couple of different options. As you can see in the picture, I think it would look good with pretty much any tonal and a speckle or variegated. So the two different colors. I have a couple of different options. I do have the totally teal from Rebel Woolworks, so I might find something that works well, like a speckle or a variegated that works well with that. I might even, the yarn that I'm getting from the Yarn Over Truck Superhero Yarn Club, that might work as a speckle variegated. I have to wait till it gets here to see it with the totally teal to see if they work together. But anyway, my idea is to either use yarn that I have on hand that I've already purchased, or to specifically seek out yarn from businesses run by people of color if I'm going to purchase yarn for that pattern. So again, if you're interested in that, if you're interested in the Descent Cowl, between now and November 3rd, your proceeds for purchasing that will go to the ACLU. She has already, I forget the designer's name, but I'll make sure it's here. The designer has already been able to donate $30,000 to the ACLU. Thanks to purchase of that pattern. She had already set up that pattern to do like 20% donations of the proceeds, but after news of Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing, she decided to donate 100% of proceeds. And because of people purchasing that pattern, she has donated more than $30,000 now. So that's fantastic. So yeah, if that's a thing that you want to do, then I'll put the information in my link haven so you can purchase that as well. So that's something I'll be working on soon. And the other thing I'll be working on at some point, once I get something off the needles, is the Secret Handshake mkal from Casapinka and Sharon from Security. The big thing with that is, one, I don't want to work on two cowls at the same time. I feel like that's going to be too repetitive for me, so I want to definitely finish the mixtape first. The other thing is I still don't know what yarn I'm going to use for that. So it calls for 4 colors, but you can do it in 1 color or 4 colors or 92 colors. You can do it in however many colors you want to. My plan was to use mini skeins, because I have a lot of mini skeins. The problem is the mini skein set that I was planning on using, the Seaside minis from Ruby and Roses, those are only 10-gram skeins, so there's only 40 yards or so in each of those, and I need a total of 800 yards. So a pack of 10 10-gram mini skeins, or 40-yard mini skeins, is only 400 yards. So that's only half of the yarn that I need, which would be fine if I thought I had more that would fit in that specific color look, which I don't. As many mini skeins as I have, like the skeins that work together are surprisingly few. So what I'm thinking at the moment is, so I have a motley crew of mini skeins. So I of course have all of these from Vicki Brown Design. So I've got all these pink ones. I also have, these are 20-gram mini skeins. If you recall, back in May I did the Advent from Ruby and Roses. So I have these, and I like these a lot. I think these are nice, vibrant colors that work well together. So I'm thinking of using this for the main. So these are about 80 yards a piece. So this is also 400 yards. So that's about half of what I need. So if I then take those colors and I mix them with some combination of these, then I can have pretty much what I need, I think. I think I still need one more. Yeah, because that's only 9. Oh, okay. I think I was planning on using these too, which equal out to about 1 or something. I don't know. But see, that's the problem. So I have a bunch of random stuff. So this one, I don't know if you remember it. This is Gardens by the Bay. This is a Treehouse Knits color, which I think works really well. This would work really well with these. It blends right in, I think. And then these three are from A Chick That Knits. So these are the three colors that I'm using for my mini skein infinity scarf. So this is Blooming Roses, Robin's Egg, and Stiletto. And I think these could also work with this. So I mean, that could be a thing. They could all go together. Maybe, in some combination. But I think I still need another 20 grams. So, I could throw a couple of these in there. That would be, so, I don't know. But then there's also, in addition to this, there's also the fact that I'm going to have a little bit of leftovers from my mixtape. So there's some of those colors that might work well in here. And then I probably will have some leftovers from the Sharon shawl too. So if I wait till I'm finished with both of those, I might be able to use scraps from that in addition to some of this. So maybe. But that's the thing, is I have so many mini skeins, but the colorways don't mesh. So that's the problem with getting started on the Secret Handshake. So it's very likely that I will not begin the Secret Handshake until well after it is completely posted. So it'll no longer be a mystery for me. But you know, it is what it is. So okay. So if you have any suggestions, not that you all have access to my inventory of yarn, but if you have any suggestions for colorways or anything like that, especially if you have suggestions for places that I might get yarn that are run by people of color, I would love that. Like I said, I do have a small list of places that I want to try, but if you've discovered new ones that you love, let me know. I would love to support them. But yeah, I think that's it for today. Hopefully I'll have something for you to watch next week. I don't know if it'll be knitty related or not, but hopefully there will be something. And otherwise, I will see you when I get back from vacation. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all staying healthy and safe. I hope you're as happy as you can be. I hope the year's not moving too quickly for you. And I hope that you're having fun with your knitting. So everybody have a great one. I will see you next time.